Hello, my Buckeye faithful out there. Welcome to another segment of a Buckeye Vinny YouTube channel show. Let's get this video going. Today's video is going to be about the Buckeyes 2022 football preview. And my friends, if you're anything like me, as a devoted Buckeye fan, we are getting very excited for this 2022 up-and-coming football season for the Buckeyes. Now, for me, what really jumps out at me is the number of players that are returning for the Buckeyes, both on offense and on defense. For me, a big pickup that the Buckeyes did tremendously on the offseason was getting defensive coordinator Jim Knowles. This man has lived up to all the hype as a defensive coordinator coach, and without a doubt, he is going to bring out his best with the top players on defense for the Buckeyes. So it's a win-win for me. He was a phenomenal coach, defensive coordinator coach for the past 4 years for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. And when you look back and look at Oklahoma State defense in the past 3-4 years, they were ranked in the top 4 and 5 almost every season. So without a doubt, Jim Knowles is going to bring it as the defensive coordinator. When you look at the Buckeyes offense, we are bringing back a quarterback that last year passed for over 4,400 yards. He threw 44 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions, and this is a young man that completed 72% of his passes. And that's right, I'm talking about none other than C.J. Stroud. This is a young man that in the 2020 season found 0 playing time. So for me, for a young man to put up these gaudy numbers that he did in the 2021 football campaign speaks a lot about C.J. Stroud. And, you know, C.J. Stroud is only going to continue to get better and improve. Did he spoil us Buckeye fans last season with the style of play and the numbers that he put up against opponents? Absolutely he did. But you know what? This was no fluke. C.J. Stroud is a very talented athlete, a very fine young man, and look for him to put up the same numbers. We are returning star wideout Jackson Smith-Njigba. This young man caught 95 balls last year for a little over 1,600 yards and 9 touchdowns. My friends, we got it going on. We have Marvin Harrison Jr. returning. Let's not forget talented, sure-handed Julian Fleming. And I already said about our defense. So when you are going to mix these skilled set position players that I just named in with this phenomenal defense with quite a bit of returning players for the Buckeyes, you know, it could be one dangerous but exciting season for a Buckeye fan, to say the least. Now, on paper, the Buckeyes control their own destiny. Do I see the Buckeyes running the gauntlet and going 12-0? Absolutely. Do we have a somewhat of a difficult schedule? A little bit. You know, we're starting out the season, first game of the year, versus none other than the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Always a very good, consistent team. Rich in tradition football program coming to the Shoe. We have Wisconsin coming to the Shoe. And always a good rivalry is Penn State, where we need to travel to Happy Valley. Always a difficult place to go in and pull out a victory. But again, if the Buckeyes can control their own destiny and not have any hiccups along the way, like we did last season, losing to the Ducks in the Shoe 35-28, I believe that was the second game of the season. That was a big hiccup. And none other than going into the big house last season and losing 42-27. But my friends, that is the past. I am looking in the future, and I'm seeing the Buckeyes doing quite well, to say the least. Again, if the Buckeyes can just play consistent football throughout the year, I don't see why the Buckeyes cannot be back in to the national championship game. And I truly mean that. With the talent, again, that we are returning, the sky's the limit. Let's not forget our standout running back, Trivion Henderson. This is a young man that, as a true freshman last season, rushed for over 1,200 yards and 15 touchdowns. My friends, these numbers that I'm mentioning are just tremendous, phenomenal numbers by numerous players that are all coming back. Now, yes, are we going to miss Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson? Sure we will. But are we going to fill the shoes with Jackson Smith-Njigba? Sure. Julian Fleming? Why not? Marvin Harrison Jr.? You know, the Buckeyes have always had this saying, next man up. And when you have a coach like Ryan Day, Coach Day is always looking for that next man up. You have to. Injuries are part of the game. So when someone goes down, and it could be a star player, now you need to look at the bench and say, next man up. Who is going to be the next hero and star player for my football team? And this is the way Ryan Day thinks, and I don't blame him. This is why he is such a very good coach for the Buckeyes. Again, my friends, if you're asking me, do I think the Buckeyes can run the season and control their own destiny and go 12-0? The answer is yes. We've seen what the Buckeyes can do under pressure. Now, this is a team that averaged darn near 48 points a game last year. They led the nation in scoring. This is a team that had a quarterback, C.J. Stroud, that passed for 573 yards versus Utah in the 2021 Rose Bowl game. And yes, by the way, that is an all-time single-game career passing record for C.J. Stroud. This is a young man that threw 6 touchdown passes in that come-from-behind game versus Utah. So again, if you're asking me, can the Buckeyes control their own destiny and go 12-0? I'm going to repeat it with the answer of yes. I see the Buckeyes running the show, winning the Big Ten, and pounding the team up north. You heard it right here. You might say, well, Buckeye Vinny, what do you think about the first game of the year? It will be a test. But my friends, you heard it here. I don't think this game against Notre Dame is going to come down to the final play of the game. I believe, again, you heard it here, I believe that the Buckeyes can beat Notre Dame by double digits. I'm looking at 17, that the Buckeyes should be able to beat Notre Dame right around 17, maybe by 20, if not more. Why? My big reason is the players that are coming back at the skilled set position. That is very important. Don't get me wrong, I have the utmost respect for Notre Dame, but I just do not think with some of those new players coming in on the scene for Notre Dame, don't get me wrong, Marcus Freeman, a phenomenal coach. He will have a very successful career for Notre Dame, but again, the Buckeyes will have their way with Notre Dame September 3rd in the shoe. My friends, for anyone checking me out for the first time today, please remember to click on that subscribe button. It is free to do so. If you like this video today, please click on the like button. Don't forget to hit the bell. And last thing, please comment down below. I would love to read your comments about this video and about what you think of the Buckeyes for the 2022 season. Like always, peace out. God bless. Buckeye Vinny's out of here. Go Bucks.